So I'll summarize those things, whatever we discussed yesterday. Okay. So yesterday we have discussed the introduction part. So where we discussed the targeted audiences of this training. Okay, so AEM is a Java-based CMS. So we need basics of Java to learn AEM. Okay. Uh, Prerequisites is basics of Java, HTML, JS, and CSS. Okay, then we discussed about opportunities. As AEM is a niche technology, it is having high demand in the market. There are less number of resources in the market. So we'll get a lot of job opportunities in AEM. And if you get a job with AEM profile, definitely will get better package in comparison to other developers. Okay. So by end of the training, you will be able to create AEM projects. You can create static templates, dynamic templates. You can create pages. Um, I mean, whatever required for a core developer of AEM, we are going to cover all those things in this training. Okay, so you are going to be a core developer of AEM by the end of this training. Then we discussed about our course content, basics and advanced part. So course duration is almost 30 hours, maybe more than that. Every day 1 hour, and in every class we are going to do some discuss some concepts, and based on those concepts we are going to do some exercises. Okay, all the exercises would be done by you only in your system. I'll simply guide you how to do that. Okay, then we have discussed about what is CMS. So CMS is a tool or software using which we can create the website and manage the content of the website dynamically. So what is content? When you open any website, you'll find a lot of images, videos, text. So those things are content. Logo, navigation bar. Okay, so all those things are contents. So using any CMS, you can manage the content of your website dynamically. Manage the content means you can change. Your website will be up and running, but you will be able to change the content of your website. Okay, using any CMS. So there are a number of CMSs are there in the market. We have WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, CrownPeak, Tridian, AEM, Sitecore, right? But everyone is preferring AEM. Why everyone is preferring? So first, all the customers are preferring AEM because AEM is a product of Adobe. Adobe is a very good brand in the market, and AEM is a part of Adobe Marketing Cloud. Okay, so when customer buys Adobe Marketing Cloud, they get AEM. So along with AEM, they also get target, analytics, audience manager, number of tools. Okay, so using those tools, the customer can launch one revenue generating website easily. Okay, they don't need to purchase different tools from different vendors. They get all the tools which are required for launching one revenue generating website in Adobe Marketing Cloud. Okay, they get a complete package in Adobe Marketing Cloud to launch one revenue generating website. Okay, that's why all the customers are preferring AEM. Content authors are preferring AEM. Why content authors are preferring? Because AEM provides a very flexible and friendly environment to manage the content of your website. So content authors are the persons who are going to manage the content of your website. So AEM provides a very friendly interface to manage the content. That's why all the content authors are preferring AEM. Why developers are preferring? Because AEM is easy to learn, and AEM provides one sample web application for our reference. If we are going to develop something, we'll refer the sample website, how things are done there, and we'll follow that and we'll do in our website. Also, AEM provides a lot of inbuilt APIs and libraries. So that will help us develop the components and templates going forward. So that is the reason all the developers are also preferring AEM. Then we discussed about different instances of AEM. There are two instances, author instance and publish instance. An instance is a platform. Okay. For example, author instance is a platform where your website is going to be developed. All the internal users, developers, content authors, administrators, testers, they all work together in our author instance to create your website, to launch your website. Once your website is created in author instance, you want to expose it to the end users. Okay. So whatever we created in author, we have to publish everything to the publish instance. Then only your website will be available for the end users. Okay. So in your author instance, the development will happen. The developer will develop templates, components, authoring interfaces, Java classes, JavaScripts. Content authors will use the templates to create the pages of your website. They use the components to show content on the pages of your website. Okay, they create all the pages. Everything will happen in your author instance. So once your website is created, you have to publish it so that end users can access it. Okay, so publish instance just like a container where the latest and or stable content of your website will be there. Okay, you are not supposed to do any changes in your publish instance. If you want to do some changes in publish, first do that change in author, then publish it. Automatically, it will go to your publish instance. Okay. So mostly we are going to work on author instance. Then we discussed about the content flow, how the content flows from the content authors to the end users. So content authors are the persons who are going to create your website. They'll create the pages of your website. They'll add content on the pages. Okay. So everything will happen in your author instance. So you in your project you can have multiple environments, dev environment, QA, UAT, prod, right? And every environment has author instance, publish instance. Okay. So develop content authors create the pages, add the content on the pages in author instances, and they publish it. Then it goes to publish instance. The end users can access the content from publish instance. Okay, they'll type the URL of your website. So once they type the URL, press enter, request got created. That request will hit your publish instance. But before it hits the publish instance, it will hit the web server. Okay. So in your web server, there is another tool or another instance of AEM will be running called dispatcher. So dispatcher will take your request to your publish instance. It retrieves the content from publish instance and shows the content to the end user. At the same time, dispatcher will do caching and load balancing. Okay. So caching means it will store the HTML, static HTML in temporary storage device, and whenever requested, it will retrieve from there and shows to the end user. Instead of hitting the application server or publish instance again and again, it will retrieve the content from the temporary storage device in the web server and it shows to the end users. So that is called as caching. In this way, your page will load very fast. So dispatcher is responsible for caching and load balancing. Load balancing means if your website is having a lot of users, a lot of traffic hits your website. So dispatcher will manage that traffic. It will distribute the load among different publish instances. Okay. So author, publish, dispatcher, then content authors creates the content and end users access your content from the publish instance through the web server. So this is how the content flows. We already discussed it yesterday. Okay. So next we are going to discuss about templates and components. So some time back I told you developers will create the templates. Developer will create the components. Content author will use the templates to create the pages of your website. Content authors use the components to show content on the pages of your website. Okay. So what is template exactly? Template is the markup or layout to create your page. For example, let me go to the same website again. So I opened ndtv.com. It is a news website. Okay. So we are discussing about templates and components. So as I told, developers will create the template. So what is template? Template is the markup or layout to create your page. Now let's say someone has created this home page. So this page was created using a template. So template is the markup or layout. So what is exactly a template here? Observe this page. What all things are there on this page? So in this page, as a developer, not like an end user. So observe this page as a developer. So in this page, you will find a header, right? So in the header, you'll find a logo, some navigation bar. The background color of your header is black. Then we have a left panel here. In the left panel, you'll find a big image, some text. Then we have a right panel. In right panel, you'll find blocks of contents. Then we have body. In body, you'll find some small images, some text, right? So you have, and there will be a footer at the bottom. So you have header, footer, left panel, right panel, and body. In header, you are displaying some content, logo, navigation bar, or something. In left panel, you are displaying some content, image, text. Right panel, you are also displaying something. Footer, in the body, you are displaying some contents. So the layout of the page, header, footer, left panel, right panel, and body. Right. So the header background is also gray color. Body background is white color. Okay, this is the markup or layout of this page. Now let me open one more page. Now compare this page with the previous page. So here also you'll find header, right? And here also you'll find left panel. But when you compare this left panel of this page with the previous page, you'll find it is completely different. The width of this left panel is small. Then we have a body here. The width of body is bigger. In body, we are displaying some horizontal contents, right? So in your previous page, we are displaying some vertical contents. So if you compare the layout markup of this page with the previous page, you will find both the pages are having different types of layouts. Okay, just give a minute. Okay. So if you compare this page with the previous page, you will find both the pages are having two different types of layouts or markups. Or you can say the previous page was created using a different template and this page is created using a different template. Okay. So templates are markups or layouts to create your pages. Any questions, doubts on this?
Nothing from my end.
No. Okay. I'll give one more example. Let's say in your website, Okay. Let's say your website is having a page called terms and condition. Okay. So in that terms and condition page, you are displaying one header, footer, and in body you are displaying some text, terms and condition 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. There is a page for privacy policy. There also you are displaying header, footer. In body, you are displaying privacy policy 1, 2, 3, like that. Another page, contact us page. There also you are displaying header, footer. In body, you are displaying address 1, address 2, address 3. So if you compare the layout or markup of all the pages, you will find header, footer, and in body you are displaying some text. It means all the pages are having similar kind of layout or markup. So you can create a single template for all these pages. One template can be used to create multiple pages. If your website is having 200 pages or 300 pages, you can create some 15 to 20 templates. Okay. So it doesn't mean that your website is having 200 pages, you are going to 100 templates. Okay. So always try to create less number of templates so that your website will be maintainable going forward. Okay. So templates we understood. So what is component? So on this page, you can see there is a logo, navigation bar, image, title, text. This is another title. So these are components. So components are reusable functional blocks. For example, logo. Logo is a component. It is reusable. Reusable means I can use this logo in this page as well as in 100 other pages, or in this page also at multiple places. Okay, so components are reusable. Reusable functional block. It should have some functionality. What is the functionality of logo? If I click on this, it will take me to the home page of this website. Okay, so this is your navigation bar. This is also a component. So in navigation bar, you'll find the links to multiple pages, right? So all the components are reusable and functional blocks. So image is a component, text is a component, title is a component. Okay. So components are reusable functional blocks created by the developers, used by the content authors to show the content on our pages. Let's say I am a content author. I want to show an image on the home page. So developer will develop the image component. I'll drag and drop the image component on the page, and I'll author an image in that component to show an image on my home page. Okay. So templates are layouts or markups to create your pages. Okay. There are two types of templates, static templates and dynamic or editable templates. We'll discuss both. So templates, most of the templates are created by the developers. Okay, content author use those templates to create the pages. Once the pages are created, pages are blank, empty. Content author wants to show some content on the pages. So they need components. Developer develop the components. Content author use those components, drag and drop those components on the pages to show the content. Okay. So now if you see this image, so this is one template. So in this template, you'll find a placeholder for header, footer, body, right panel. Now if I create a page using this template, in that page also, I'll be able to see those placeholders. Placeholder means empty spaces. I'll find a placeholder for header, footer, right panel, and body on my page also. Okay. Then on the page, I want to show an image. So I need image component. I want to show album, photo album. So I need photo album component. Okay. So on your page, we can author multiple components to show the contents on your pages. Any questions, doubts on templates and components?
One quick question. It might be too early to ask, but when you say like we should create a less number of templates, does number of templates impact the performance or components, number of components impact the performance?
It won't impact the performance. It will be difficult to maintain your website going forward. If
Agree.
you have a lot, yeah,
Mm.
if you have a lot number of templates.
Okay. Uh, all right.
So we covered all the introduction part. So now we are going to discuss different consoles provided by AEM. Okay. Just now I started my instance. So in any AEM project, we have different types of users. We have developers, two types of developers, UI developer, core developer. We have content authors, we have testers, we have administrators, different types of users are there. The job of developer is different, job of content author is different, job of administrator is different. Now the developer wants to create a template, he wants to create a component, he wants to write a Java class, right? Then content author will create a page. He will add content on the pages. Admin will do his task, right? So all the users have different roles and responsibilities. Now AEM provides different consoles for different type of users to perform their tasks. Let's say the developer wants to create a template. So there is a separate console. Console means interface. Developer will use that interface to create the template. Content author wants to create a page. There is a separate interface or separate console for it. Okay, so there are a number of consoles provided by AEM for different types of users to perform their tasks. So once you start your instance, author instance, as I told, mostly we are going to work on author instance. Our development happens in author instance. I started my author instance. Okay. So if you see the URL, localhost colon 4502 slash am slash start.html. Localhost host name 4502 is the port number on which my author instance is running. Okay. Then am slash start.html is the URL to access this console. Once you start your instance and log in, you will land on this console. This console is the master navigation console. Okay. We call it as start.html or master navigation console. So from this console, you can navigate to all other consoles of AEM. Okay. So let's say I want to open the CRXD console. This is another console provided by a lot of consoles are there. Master navigation console is there from where you can navigate to all other consoles of AEM. Just now I opened CRXD console. Localhost 4502 slash CRX slash D. So this is another console provided by AEM. Mostly this console used by the developers or the administrator. This is a browser-based editor. CRXD is a browser-based editor. Browser-based means open your browser, type the URL, the editor will open. So we know editors like Eclipse, NetBeans, IntelliJ, those are window-based editors. Click on the exe file, the editor will start. Okay. For example, Eclipse. Click the exe file, Eclipse will start. So using Eclipse, you can develop Java applications, web applications. So similarly, this is a browser-based editor. First, you have to start your author instance. Then, when you browse this URL localhost 4502 slash crxde, this editor will open. Okay. So using this editor, we can develop AEM application. Okay. So as a developer, when you open this editor, CRXD console, you will find the left panel. This is our left panel. In the left panel, you can see multiple folders are there. apps, bin, conf, content, multiple folders are there. This is our properties panel. Here you will find properties, multiple properties will be displayed. Okay. So we'll discuss those things later also. Then this is our editor. Okay, this is our search box. Then here you can see multiple options. If you do some code changes, you can save it. Some options are there. Okay. So there is a search box, left panel, properties panel, and this is your editor. So here you can see multiple folders are there. As a developer, you need to know why those folders are there and what can you do in those folders. So first we'll see the apps folder. Okay. So we are discussing about CRXD console apps folder. I'll expand the apps folder. So when I expand the apps folder, I can see multiple folders inside it. There is a folder called W Retail, We Retail. Okay. So I'll click on this. What is this We Retail? Sometime back I told you AEM provides one sample web application for us, sample website for us. So in this version of AEM, so I'm using AEM 6.5. So in this version of AEM, Adobe provides one sample web application called We Retail. In other versions, you'll find another application called uh, something geometrics, then weekend tutorials. So multiple applications are there. In this version, you'll find W Retail. Okay, so W Retail is a website created for our reference. So when you expand the apps folder, you'll find W Retail. Under W Retail, you'll find multiple subfolders. There is a folder called components. Okay, so if I expand components folder, I can find there are a number of components are there. So these components are created for WeRetail website. Okay. So they under apps folder, they created a folder called WeRetail. Under that, they created a folder called components. Under that, they created all the components for their WeRetail website. Breadcrumb is a component, button, carousel. So all are components created for the W Retail website. Let's say I want to launch my website, training.com, learning.com. So first I have to create a folder like W Retail. Under apps, I'll create a folder called training. Under that, I'll create components folder. Under components folder, I have to create all the components for my training website. So how I know these are the components? Let's say select breadcrumb. To select breadcrumb, go to the properties panel. In the properties panel, you'll find a property called JCR colon primary type. The value is CQ colon component. So from this property, I understand this breadcrumb is a component. Let's take example of another carousel, let's say. So I selected carousel, go to properties panel, find a property called JCR colon primary type. The value is CQ colon component. So carousel is also a component. Button is also a component. Okay. So all the components are having primary type called CQ colon component. So when you open CRXD, in the left panel, whatever folder structure folders you see, whatever nodes you see, everything is having a primary type. Okay. For example, W Retail. So what is the primary type? Empty colon folder. So W Retail is a folder. Components. So components is a folder. Primary type is empty colon folder. Breadcrumb. Primary type is CQ colon component. So breadcrumb is a component. Okay. So in components folder, they created all the components for We Retail website. There is a folder called client webs. So in any web application, not only in AEM, in any web application, if you want to show some look and feel, okay, to your pages, you want to make your page colorful, you want to show some images, okay, you want to apply some look and feel to your pages. So you need CSS style sheets, right? Also, we need JavaScripts for any web application. So why we need JavaScripts? Let's say we want to do validation. There is a form and we want to do the validation. So we have to write some JavaScript code, right? So for any web application, definitely we need JavaScript, JS or CSS files. So in AEM, if you want to use JS and CSS files, you have to use client library framework. Okay. So this client libs is a client. Under client libs, we can see number of client libraries are there. So this client lib hyphen base, communities, client lib dependencies, client lib site, all are client libraries. In every client library, you will find JS and CSS files. Your website can have multiple client libraries. Okay. So in AEM application, if you want to use JS and CSS files, you have to use client library framework. You have to create the client libraries. So how I know that this is a client library? Select it. Go to properties panel. There is a property JCR colon primary type and the value is CQ colon client library folder. So this is a client library. What is this? Client lib hyphen base primary type is CQ colon client library. So it means it is a client library. Okay. So for our training project also, we can create the client libraries like this. Okay. So in apps folder, we can create the components. We can create the client libraries. There is a folder called config. Config stands for configurations. So if you want to create some configurations for your project, configuration means I want to create a configuration for my log file. Or let's say in my website, I'm using some third-party APIs. I'm calling some endpoints, okay? And those endpoints have environment-specific URLs. For example, I want to access some services, and that service is having one dev URL, QA URL, prod URL. Okay. So in my website, in my AEM website, from my dev environment, I'll access that dev API URL. From QA environment, I'll access the QA API URL. So I can create separate configurations for them. One configuration for dev environment, one for QA, one for prod, one for dev author, one for dev prod. So dev publish. Okay. So I can create multiple configurations based on the requirement. Okay. In apps folder also, we are going to create those configurations. Multiple configurations can be created. This is another configuration. Based on your requirement, you can create that. There is a folder called I18N. I18N stands for internationalization. In your project, if you want to implement internationalization, so you can create a folder called I18N. Then under that, get folders like EN, FR, ES, CH, like that. It means internationalization means, let's say I launched one website in English language. Okay. So I opened the home page. In the home page, let's say there is a button displayed on the home page. On the button, the label of the button is learn more or know more. Okay. The label is displayed on the bottom in your English website. I want to launch this same website in French language. Homepage will be there. Same button will be there. But the label of the button should be displayed in French, not in English. So how can I achieve this? With the help of internationalization. Okay. So that I18N folder is again created under apps folder. Okay, under apps, we have to create our project specific folder, training, learning. Under that, we have to create all those things, components, client libraries, configurations, I18N. There is another folder called install. So when I expand install, I'll find a jar file. Okay, jar file you know, right? So in any Java-based web application, when you develop Java files, to deploy those Java files, we create jar files, Java archives, right? So in this in the AEM application also, let's say I want to create a servlet. I want to create a Sling model or some utility class in Java. Then I have to put that Java class in the AEM server, application server. How will put it? First, I have to create a jar file. So in AEM, we call the jar files as bundles, OSGi bundles. Okay, bundles are nothing, the jar files. There are some differences, we'll discuss that later. Okay. So this jar file is for W retail project. They use some Java files. So they created a jar file or bundle of those Java files and they put it in an install folder. So for our training project also, we can create like this, but this is not mandatory. Okay, but we can do like that. Okay. Also, there is a folder called templates can be created here under W retail. So in any project, we have two types of templates, static templates and dynamic templates. Now, mostly we are using dynamic templates in our current versions of AEM and all. But in earlier versions of AEM, 6.0, 1, 2, 3, if your project was developed in the previous versions of AEM, you'll find a lot of static templates. So this is the place where we can create the static templates under apps folder. Okay, under apps folder, create your project specific folder like W retail. Then create a folder called templates. Under that, create all the static templates. Okay. So in apps folder, what exactly we are going to do? We are going to create a folder, project specific folder. Under that, we'll create static templates, components, client libraries, configurations, internationalization. So if you want to keep your OSGi bundle also, create a folder called install and keep it. Okay, this is about apps folder. Any questions, doubts?
There are few questions from my end. One
Yeah.
is there is config folder which where you say like dev and prod or QA configuration we have to do so we can redirect or something. So is it like project specific all the instances configuration we do all the URLs we have to configure here or what was that?
Yes. So I have given that is one example only.
Hmm.
There can be a lot of configurations.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So you can configure your APIs and libraries.
So
Um,
all we have to do here.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what is this config publish? Is it to
I,
publish?
so we have author instance, publish instance. Let's say
Right.
you have a dev author, dev publish. You can create another configuration called config.dev.publish, config.qa.author,
Okay.
config.prod.publish. Like
Okay.
that, you can create configurations.
Okay. And under this install, we have to manually create that bundle and need to put here, right? It won't do
No, no, no.
automatically.
We can create it manually,
Uh,
or when you give a build after creating your Java classes and all, when
mm.
you give a build, so that time we can do some configurations that will automatically
Auto.
put your jar file here.
Mm. All right. By default, in native, it won't come, right? We have to
Ah,
do that configuration.
correct, correct, correct. Correct.
Okay.
So this is about the apps folder. There are a lot of other folders are also there. We'll discuss some of them going forward. There is another folder called content. So in apps folder, you are going to create templates, components, all those things. So content is the folder where your website and its pages are created. Okay. So for W retail, so here under apps we saw W retail. This is a folder, right? Under content also you'll find W retail. So this is the root page of your W retail website. Okay, content folder means your website and its pages will be there. Apps means templates, components, configurations, client library, all those things. Okay. So W retail is the root page of your website. Under W retail, you can see US, CA, CH, D. These are the language specific pages. It means I want to launch my website in US. I want to launch my website in Canada. I want to launch my website in CH. So based on your requirement, you have to create the country specific pages. Let's expand US. Under US, you can see EN and ES. It means in US, I'll launch my website in English language. I'll launch my website in Spanish language. These are language specific pages. Okay. Again, I'll expand EN. So under EN, I'll find some pages. Experience, menu, main equipment, about us and all. So these are the pages of your English website. So I'll launch my website in US, and in my US English website, these are the pages. Okay. So I'll expand experience. I'll find some more pages under experience also. So there should be parent-child relationship between all the pages. You cannot create your pages randomly. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I got disconnected. Let me share my screen there. Okay. So in the content folder, we are creating the pages of our website. So this is the root page. W Retail is the root page of W Retail website. So if I want to create my own website, training.com, first I'll create a root page like this, training site or training something like that. Okay. Then under that, I have to create country specific pages. In which country I want to launch my website. In US, India, China, Canada, and okay, under each country specific page, I have to create language specific pages. In India, I launch my website in English, Hindi, in some other languages. In US, I launch my website in English, Spanish, French, some other languages. So I have to create language specific pages under country specific page. Under each language specific page, I have to create the pages of of the website in that particular language. And there should be parent-child relationship between all the pages. Okay. So under training, I can create US, or directly I can create the language specific page called EN. Under that, I can create all other pages of my training website like this. So how I know that these are the pages? So select any of the page. Go to the properties panel. Primary type, JCR colon primary type, and the value is CQ colon page. So EN is a page. US, so it is also a page. Experience, it is also a page. Okay, so whatever you see in this left panel in your CRXT, everything is having a primary type. From that primary type, you can understand whether it is a folder, component, template, page, or something else. Okay, So this is about the content folder. Any questions, doubts till now?
Think from my-
Okay. And so we covered this apps folder and content folder in CRXD. In next class, we'll see how to create a page, and when we create a page, where the page is stored, so and the rest of the consoles provided by AEM. So we'll discuss all those things in the next class. Okay, do you have any questions? Anything else you want to discuss?
Can you share the recordings with me yesterday and today's, please?
Yeah, Srinivas is going to share it.
Okay.
You can ping him. He'll
Okay.
give the Google Drive access. You can access.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank
So
you, sir.
Yamini Kant, you joined today, right? This is your first class. Yamini, are you there? Yamini Kant. Okay, fine. So maybe you're talking and mute. So if you have anything, any doubts or any questions, okay, you can inform Srinivas also and enroll yourself for this training. Get in touch with Srinivas and Sampath. Okay. And we'll do the installation once we complete all the consoles of AEM and the enrollments are done. Okay. Okay. So,
Yeah, am I audible now, Vishwan?
yes, yes, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
have one question. So once
uh,
once course complete, we'll get like a certification, like course completed with I mean not AM certification, like a course
uh,
completion certificate like this.
you can get in touch with Srinivas. Maybe he'll give you a certificate. Our training organizer, Srinivas is our training organizer. Okay. Srinivas and Sampath. Okay, fine, guys. So, see you tomorrow, same time then. Okay, we'll continue from here.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.